Yeah, I just had to do it. This is Pop OS on Elise's old laptop, which I happened to obtain. It's um, it's a very nice little laptop, and it has a fourth generation, fifth generation i5. It says it has 4 cores, but it actually has 2 cores and 4 threads. 8 GB of RAM, and a 120 gigabyte hard drive, but Pop OS on it will be nice. And I have something in store because I might actually turn this into my own personal Amiga Commodore 64 laptop. Installing Amiberry. This might turn out quite interesting. So here we have the install in progress. So I'm using this rubberized, specialized MGL Racing Pro controller. I've lost the weight compartment of it, but yeah, and this is the laptop. It's a Latitude E5250. It's Elise's old work laptop. They recently got new ones. And it's actually an Intel i5 5200U. It states 4 cores or 4 threads. It's a 2-core system, 4 threads. Base is 2.7 gigahertz. It goes up to 3.9 or something like that, or 6. Intel HD graphics 5500 and 8 gigabytes of RAM. I'm running Pop OS. So what did I do? Well, I installed, oh, and it doesn't have a big hard drive, but I did install some nice apps like DOSBox, Fusion, Commodore 64 Spectrum, DuckStation, PlayStation 2, MSX, of course, Commodore 64, VIC-20. You know, it's just my basic 8-bit, 16-bit emulation system. I also put Atari on it, but Amiberry. That's actually something that I wanted to show. So I've gotten Pimiga to work, Pimiga 4 to work on this just by installing Amiberry and transferring the necessary files of the installation, which I can boot into any system. I can put this in my Raspberry Pi, it'll boot. I can put this in AMD systems, Intel systems, it'll just boot. But I figured I'd much rather have it just default as a executable on my system, and I can tweak it a bit, but basically it's just a transplanted version with the same config files. I put some extras in there. So Pimiga, it's like the fastest incarnation I'm using. Perhaps if I do more compatible and I say fastest configuration and I say fastest 6, 8 or 4 comp setting, and then just say save and just restart. Configuration, fastest comp setting, like so. And you can have all sorts of, you can actually put Pimiga into an Amiga 1200 mode, you know, just lower the clock frequency and stuff. But I wanted to have the most decent version of it. So yeah, the desktop resolution isn't the biggest, but it does run rather well. And I actually of course, what I did was I downloaded some of the revision demos, which actually was held in Germany April Fool's Day, second Easter day. So window, no redraw, sort. Let me see. window, whoops, redraw sort, and then snap all, oops, snapshot all. So, Cosmic Orb Discipline, new branch of, there's quite a few of them. For example, this one, I'm not sure if they work, I just downloaded them. And some of them are OCS demos, so it's actually way too fast, but hopefully they've put in enough wait states or something, or calibrated them to run on the various Amiga. Let me see if sound actually is working, because sometimes that sort of gets thrown out. And automatic switching. I'm not sure what it does, but resume. Load. See if the sound is working. A reset. Yeah, enabled. It's just weird sound. Load. Sound. Enabled. Quit. So there's a bit of a bug with Amiberry and sound. It also happens on the original release. So let's see if sound is enabled. Yeah. And just to start. Hopefully it'll just remain working. I think it's an Amiberry bug or something like that. So yeah, a bit of a work in progress, tinkering with it, because yeah, the Amiberry version that I'm using probably is a bit different than the one included in the release, so they have not been able to test it. Let's see if the sound is emulated. Yeah. So now if I go to stuff and revision and Amiga, and I go to the what was it? Water Our Blueberry. Now it has sound. So yeah, it's a bit of a file toggle thing probably. But yeah, this is one of the newer demos coming out. This is just a small intro. And let's reboot. Yeah, this probably is an OCS demo. So probably it's just not playing very nice with the advanced system that's on here. I may actually want to put Coffin OS on here as well. It may actually be possible. And I am also in the process of converting this to Pimiga to Mister. But the Mister only has the two first drives, IDE drives available. So with the 4-drive setup, you may actually need to have different partitions, and they have to have different letters and stuff. But yeah, I'll see, because these drives are all folders, files in folders, which actually works pretty nice, pretty decently. Let's see if I can have one of these more elaborate demos showing. Now I am looking at the screen and holding up the phone, hopefully remaining in view. Yeah, what is this? Yeah, let's see. It's a one floppy thing, so it may actually also be an OCS demo that actually is too fast, but I love watching demos. Also love watching new demos on the system. Now the viewing angle of this laptop is not the best, you know. But if you tilt it properly and you watch it head on, it's actually quite okay. But yeah, it's a decent laptop. 120 gigabyte hard drive, which you would think probably doesn't hold that much. I actually kicked off the Windows 10 or Windows 7, no, Windows 10 Pro install. I mean, there's a license on it. I mean, I could put it back on, but with 8 gigabytes, 120 gigabyte hard drive, you know, there's not much interesting stuff you can actually do with it. Linux actually works pretty decent. You can actually, if you use Firefox, you can pretty much watch YouTube, stream, and if I bring this with me on trips, you know, take a joystick with me, I have this perfectly capable emulation device, you know, for my 8 and 16-bit stuff. Let's see if I press the mouse buttons. Yeah, this actually exit quite nicely. So, and this circumvent. This also comes with a floppy, so might be a boot floppy or 64K intro. So you have two flavors. Oh, this is cool. Nice ASCII art. Oh, I just love this. The revision 100% plus for the Twitch Elite. So this is one of these trainer ups. You start the just do the trainer for the party. Let's put on. So I guess this bit might be a timing bit on the emulator that it's not filling correctly. I'm not sure if they like it, but let me see. Video, display, correct aspect ratio, refresh, brightness. In general, perhaps miscellaneous. I'm not sure if VSync is enabled or not, but yeah, that may actually be it. But so yeah, I mean, running this on real hardware probably is best, but and yeah, thanks Chris Edwards for creating Pimiga. Chris actually created a version only for the ARM or the Raspberry Pi and also for Intel. So he split them up using different distributions. Basically, it's the same, you know, it's the same thing, but only tailored to a specific system. I think this, you know, this is my holy grail drive. I mean, this thing runs really hot, so I have this on an extender. Is not to ruin the port on the system that you're booting it from. But yeah, the fact that this actually is a bootable stick that you can put in a Raspberry Pi or a PC, and that's even, you know, a beefy Ryzen PC or one of these mini PCs or this old laptop from 2013 or something like that. You know, it just boots and it gives you the same Amiga experience, which is quite amazing. And of course the PC is a bit faster than a Raspberry Pi, so yeah, great stuff. Thank you, Chris. And yeah, I hope you don't mind me, you know, adapting it to my own use. Probably you'd like that, but yeah, I just put Pimiga on Pop! OS, and I also did it with Mint or any other Linux distribution. It works. If you use Pimiga, it pretty much, wow, cool. So if you use Pimiga, it pretty much, how do you say that? If you use Amiberry, it pretty much is a cool thing. So it actually reboots. And it did some sort of virus check thing. And of course, what is also cool, and my own laptop, I have a similar laptop. It actually is, it has a bit more RAM, a bit bigger hard drive, and I slapped an Apple logo on the part where the Dell is. And I of course could also install this. Oh, you can also use this with WinUAE. I did manage to get the you know, if you use the correct settings, I did manage to get this working properly on WinUAE as well. So if you want to use Windows, you can adapt, but you need to know what you're doing. So, but this is cool. So if you if I run this on my Dell with the sticker on it, with the Apple sticker on it, I basically have a 68,000, 68040 Mac, and this is much more compatible than Basilisk on Windows, for example, or Linux. This shapeshifter, it doesn't emulate the CPU, and it more or less wedges in between the CPU that actually runs the code and the Amiga OS, and you have to patch your Kickstarter. But Amiberry has an option to have a toggle that you can say that you want the Kickstart to be able to run Shapeshifter. So you don't have to patch your Kick ROM. Amiberry just takes care of it. And if you use WinWAE, you need to run Shapeshifter, Kick Enabler, or something like that. But Chris actually managed to have that working as well on a regular Kickstart. Probably he does some sort of auto booting it. This actually takes far too long. I was just doing this just now, and it's weird that it just hangs. Of course, the moment you test, the moment you want to show, stuff goes wrong, and when you're testing it, it works flawless, like all the time. Perhaps the reboot and running a demo before is not the best. So let's see if it actually runs. Perhaps there's something in memory or something like that, but it should progress beyond this, which it doesn't, which actually is weird. I shut it down properly, but yeah, oh well. So I just transferred these off the Amiberry disk, copied them over, and zipped actually it. So let's check out Amiberry again and see if the macOS boots, because I think I may have corrupted a file. Amiga Vision, Amiberry. I'm just going to load this, because it could be that my setting with the fast and the compatible setting, that it actually screws it up. So let's see. So yeah, we've got Pimiga booting up, and yeah, using a USB 3 stick actually works quite nicely. So booting up into macOS. there it goes. So I guess there was this compatibility thing going on. Not yet. And let's do all the tests, run all the tests. Yeah, on this drive, yeah. And then it's going to complain that it can't do the monochrome graphics, which is fine. Yeah, so I think it was the CPU setting because the file wasn't actually changed. So yeah. Let's run these, and if you compare these figures with a regular how you say that, with a regular LC or 68,000 Mac, it actually is a lot faster. It's like 5 times a quadra. So analysis, system comparisons, machine records. So if you compare it to an emulated Power Mac, for example, you can actually see that this machine has quite substantially good performance. And yeah, open Macintosh on Latitude E5250. Okay, but of course what is cool is that there's games, and what I also like a lot, and you can actually see how well certain stuff runs, Stabilo Worlds, and double the window size, sound controls, 2 players inputs. I love to play it with the mouse. Yeah, so it's the mouse. And let's do a new game. And this actually works just as well on my real Mac. And it just works. And this is great for shooting. Mouse shooters with mouse controls actually work quite good. I love playing these old compile shooters with touch controls on the iPad, because you have this bit where you can actually speed up, and on the iPad actually have absolute positioning on your ship. So yeah, but as you can see, this works very well. So let's shut down. I always have to think, because I have a real Mac as well, and the shutdown always is over here on the new Mac, and on the old one it's over there. But yeah, it's lovely to see the old Mac OS running. Yeah, there's emulators on here as well, other emulators. So Shapeshifter, but ST on Amiga supposedly works. But I may actually have to use the more compatible setting. Oh, there it does. There it goes. So, of course, the screen is a lot slower, or a smaller resolution than the Amiga, but yeah, pretty cool, pretty decent that it actually works. F10? No, so shut down. Yeah, so I'm actually quite stoked with this system. I think running Spectrum is quite decent. There's various ways of running the Spectrum. I've got the Fuse and the other one. So yeah, and then of course I have the Vice emulators, Catapult. So yeah, and this actually is quite capable of running some PlayStation 2 games even, and PlayStation 1 games. So yeah, just drag a few files on there, you know, files that I want to play, have this controller hooked up. I can do my 8-bit. I may actually have to do some Commodore stuff. What I also could do still is this has a card reader, an SD card reader where you can boot off, and it's not too shabby, too slow. So I can actually do some sort of Batocera type install on this as well, and have it boot from this. Or put some ROM files on the SD card that aren't necessarily the ones that need to be read fastest, for example. So yeah, this could be a pretty neat emulation. I just want to run it all thing. I even got 86 box on it, which may not work very well on it, but perhaps I could install use a Windows 3.1 or a more compatible MS-DOS than DOSBox, because yeah, DOSBox is cool, but it's not the most compatible. Still, it doesn't emulate the entire machine. 86 or PCM does. I may actually want to install PCM on here because I have better experiences with PCM. But yeah, this is my as it now stands, emulation PC type thingy. I may have to put Amstrad on here, CPC Amstrad, and some other computers. You know, the ones that I actually run on Mister. I would love to have a Mister in a Dell like that. But with the configuration and the daughter boards and stuff, this may not be possible, but I would just love it if there would be a solution for putting a Mister, you know, in a motherboard type thing that actually works inside of this laptop. Yeah, dream on. Okay, so this is a Dell Lattitude 5250. It's running Linux. And I have taken Pimiga off this drive, off this USB stick, and put it on there. And now I'm running one of these newer Amiga demos from revision 2024. The screen is not the best. It's an old laptop. 5th generation, I believe. Yeah, I've got a new laptop, and the old one I got to keep. So there's 120 gigabyte hard drive in there, and a 5th generation Intel i5 with 2 cores. The resolution on the screen isn't the best. It's 13 something by 768 or something like that. Yeah, and this is Pimiga running on this laptop. Just checking out some demos, some revision 24 demos. Actually, the party went on today, second Easter day. So yeah, it's emulating a 6040 maximum speed, so it's probably going to be okay. I think the sound is a bit too loud. There's no way of turning that down from within the emulator. But you can turn it down, like so. So yeah, it's actually quite a fun little system. You get to run all sorts of stuff on it. Basically, it turns into an Amiga. There's the games. Let me see. I think it's actually quite compatible with like Quake and stuff. Run demo. Low res. Okay. Oh, bad something. Run demo. OK. Ami Quake then. That is one big cursor. Don't think it wants to behave. Oh well.